to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a field that's all about language in the real world. I mean, applied linguistics isn't about memorizing grammar rules you learned in school. Nope. It's about tackling the messy, complicated problems that pop up when language gets in the way. And we're going to use the Handbook of Applied Linguistics as our guide to figure it all out. I mean, just think about it for a second. What happens when language actually creates a problem? It happens all the time. You could be looking at a police transcript that might decide someone's freedom. Or, think about the huge challenge of teaching someone a brand new language, or helping a patient overcome a speech impediment. These are massive, real-world issues where language is right at the heart of it all. But here's where it gets really interesting. The very field designed to solve these problems, applied linguistics, well, it's kind of got this deep internal conflict going on. It's almost like the field has an identity crisis. It's a tale of two completely different philosophies, each with its own idea about how to connect abstract theories about language with all those real-world problems. And this slide really breaks down that core tension. So on one side, you've got linguistics applied, which we'll call LA. This approach basically says, hey, we have these powerful theories from linguistics, let's just apply them directly to the problem and solve it. But on the other side, you've got applied linguistics, or AL. And this view says, whoa, not so fast. It's way more complex. The AL approach starts with the problem itself and sees its job as mediating a solution, using linguistics as just one tool in the toolbox. Okay, so let's dig into that first perspective a little deeper. Linguistics applied, or LA. You can really think of this as the theorist's approach. It's all driven by this deep, fundamental confidence in the power of pure linguistic science. And this quote from H. Whittison just perfectly captures that LA spirit. The core idea here is that language problems can be solved with linguistic solutions. Simple as that. The goal isn't just to slap on a quick fix, but to use that real-world language data to better understand language itself, to actually test and refine the big theories. All right, now let's flip over to the other side of the coin, applied linguistics, or AL. This is what we're calling the problem solver's approach, and the key difference is where it begins. It doesn't start with a theory from a book. It starts with a real person, maybe in a classroom or a courtroom, who's facing a very practical, very urgent language issue. And here's Whittison again, this time describing the AL view. Notice the different words he uses: mediation, reconcile. This perspective sees itself as a bridge builder. Someone working in this tradition isn't just a linguist. No, they're drawing on psychology, education, sociology, whatever it takes to understand the whole picture. Linguistics is a crucial piece of the puzzle for sure, but it's part of a much broader solution. So to really get a feel for that LA or theorist's approach, we kind of need to peek inside their toolbox, right? I mean, what does it actually mean to apply pure linguistics? Well, it means using these incredibly precise tools to systematically break down the machinery of language. So first up in the toolbox, phonetics. This is the science of speech sounds. And it's not just about what we hear. It's about the incredible, intricate mechanics of how we use our lips and our tongue and our vocal cords to produce every single sound, from a p to a sh. It's fascinating. Just look at the level of detail on this table. It's amazing. Linguists literally map out the geography of your mouth to describe sounds. So for example, a P sound is called bilabial because it uses both lips. A K sound is velar because the back of your tongue touches your soft palate. This isn't guesswork. It's a super systematic way of describing exactly how and where every sound is made. Okay, so we've looked at sounds. Now let's move up to the building blocks of meaning. And for that, we have the morpheme. A morpheme is the smallest possible chunk of a word that still carries its own meaning. Now, it's not a letter, and it's not always a syllable. It's a unit of meaning. In this example just illustrates it perfectly. Take the word untied. To you and me, that's just one word. But to a linguist, no way. They see three distinct morphemes, each with a specific job to do. You've got un, which reverses the action. You've got tie, which is the main action. And you've got ed, which puts the whole thing in the past. This is the LA approach in its purest form, dissecting language to understand its absolute core. Okay, so we've got the theorists with their precision tools on one side, and the problem solvers with their mediation approach on the other. But so what? Why does this whole internal debate actually matter to any of us, outside of a university? Because it turns out this field tackles challenges that have huge real-world consequences. We're talking about really important stuff, like how to teach languages more effectively, or how to write a fair and valid language exam. Or think about this: what advice do you give a lawyer about how to interpret a police transcript? These aren't just abstract puzzles. This is where language theory slams right into human experience. So, after all that, which side is right? Is it the theorists or the problem solvers? Well, according to the book's editors, that's probably the wrong question to be asking. They argue that in the real world, the line between these two approaches gets very, very blurry. And this quote really gets to the heart of it all. The most effective, most powerful work often happens when a researcher actually has both of these interests at heart. It's when that deep passion for understanding language theory meets the urgent human need to solve a practical problem. That's where the magic happens. So, in the end, maybe that identity crisis we talked about is actually the field's greatest strength. It creates this dynamic space where deep theory and hands-on practice are constantly informing and enriching each other. That's the crucial point. Applied linguistics is the bridge between the incredible science of language and the everyday problems of life. And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. By understanding the systems behind our own language, the phonetics, the morphemes, all of it, we get a whole new perspective on how we use words to build our world. And yeah, maybe how we sometimes misbuild it too. So think about it. The language you're using right now, is it just a tool in your hand? Or is it the very architecture of your reality?